Socrates has his ideas and his integrity, and that's all he has, and he dies, and he's killed. And if you roll the clock forward all the way to 2009, you could say that the only thing you could own is your own memories or your own ideas. And it's the core of philosophy. Everything else you don't own, you rent from a more powerful government or authority around you. So up until January 3rd, 2009, you couldn't own anything other than what's in your head. The pharaohs couldn't own their property. You don't own your gold. You don't own land. If you think you own something in California and I'm the mayor, I can take it from you by eminent domain. I can tax it away from you. I can take your gold. I can shoot you, and I can take all your stocks and your bonds. Nothing on this earth that you think you own do you own except at the pleasure of someone more powerful than you. January 3rd, 2009 is the singularity where, for the first time in the history of the human race, you have property rights. And you have property rights because we come back to my first principle. The only thing you own are your memories. To the extent that your money is reflected in your memory, no one can take it from you. So Bitcoin was this invention whereby you could memorize a private key. You could put 1,000, 1 billion, 1 million, 10 billion, any amount of money in your head, to the extent that the network has that wealth in it. And no one can take it from you or coerce it out of you via, at the barrel of a gun. I can shoot you and take all your stuff right now, all your property, if it isn't Bitcoin based on private keys. So the whole concept of property rights is, if I don't have property rights, I don't have right to my life force and my energy. I don't have the right to anything I've done in the past, economically, nor do I have the right to do anything in the future. That's why the Huguenots came here. That's why people came to America. That is the basis of so many things that have gone on in the world. This idea that without property rights, you lose your past, you lose your future. Bitcoin is a technology to convey property rights via the technology of encryption and cryptography. And to the extent that you use it properly, you finally have perfected property rights. And not only can you resist any coercion, but you can, for the first time, take economic energy with you to the grave. The pharaohs couldn't, right? The most powerful person in Egypt could not take economic energy with them to the grave. They tried to bury it in a pyramid, but people just break into the pyramids. But you take all the money in the world, you sell all your stuff, sell your land in California, sell your gold, sell your silver, sell your Apple stock, sell your diamonds and gold and collectibles, and sell all your fiat currency and your pesos and your bolivars and your rubles, and buy Bitcoin, put it in your head, and now you actually own something economically. So we can now modify that phrase from "you only own your memories" to "the only thing you can own is your memories and your Bitcoin." And in 2009, you could own all the Bitcoin in the world as long as it was less than nothing, because the network was worth nothing. Today, you can own all the Bitcoin in the world as long as it's less than about $400 billion worth of stuff. But as the network grows, it becomes possible to shift more of the economic energy out of the system of coercion and corruption into a system of virtue, empowerment, and sovereignty. And that entire process started January 3rd, 2009, and it's been just like a boil and a progression since then. And what we are seeing is property rights come to life in the human civilization. Everything you thought was a property right, like you think you have property rights if you're Jewish in Nazi Germany? Do you have property rights in Cuba, North Korea? You have property rights until someone takes them away from you. And if you're lucky enough to be American, you kind of had half your property rights or a third of your property rights. And if you're someone living in a more hostile regime, you've known forever you didn't have any. Maybe in, parts of Africa, they have 5% of their property rights. That's why Africa's still poor, because it's so impoverished. Bitcoin, not only does it give you perfected property rights in America or in China or in North Korea or in Cuba, it gives perfected property rights without prejudice to everybody on the globe, regardless of their economic circumstances. If you have a $50 Android phone, you have the same perfected property rights that Bill Gates has. And so it is the ultimate egalitarian, utilitarian entitlement of the right to property.